stoicism, or in other words, we can say emotional control. This is actually a habit that isn't talked about a lot, which is controlling your emotions. Probably a conspiracy theory, right? But like maybe the weak Western, especially world that we live in, doesn't want men to be stoic anymore. I've been called out for this and said that, you know, I'm crazy for this. I will fucking hold myself to this. I am certain that eventually people will come to realize that, like, if you live in these kind of degenerate countries, like, they don't actually want you to be happy or to be fulfilled. They just want to control you. And so you've heard this narrative that's so heavily pushed to young men. And what is it? That you should be emotional, that you should cry, that you should, like, you know, like, voice how much pain you're in. The thing is, some of those things could be okay. You should have a male best friend that you can open up to. You should have a male best friend who you consider like a brother to you, who, if some like bad shit happens to you, you'd be able to cry next to him without, you know, the fear of like he's gonna expose you or anything. I can't explain to you how valuable having that kind of relationship is, but I will never ever sell out and tell you that men should be emotional. There's a difference. I'm not an emotional guy, but I can show some emotion to my brother. There's a very big difference, because what the modern world is trying to tell you, which makes me gross when you realize what I'm about to tell you, you should literally get like a little bit fucking angry at what the world's like sold this lie to you. They're telling you that you should be emotional in front of everyone, especially in front of women. They're literally telling you that men should open up to their girlfriends. Men should open up and cry in front of their girlfriends, bro. Not to sound like nihilistic, but bro, we know what happens with that. I've just done this and I wish I didn't, because it's kind of like just made me sad, but go onto Google and just search Reddit, I cried in front of my girlfriend, and just open up some of those tabs, and here's some responses of real men who have cried in front of their girlfriends. This is a response, right? Yes, once. I'd been with my girlfriend around a year or so, and she'd done some of the occasional, you should open up. So this guy's been with his girlfriend said to him, oh, you know, you should open up. Well, 1 year later, around September, my uncle drops dead. Nobody saw it coming. He just didn't wake up one morning. Christmas rolls around and it just hits me right in the feelings. My favorite uncle isn't gonna be there, and his wife and his kids will, and it's gonna be terrible. I'm sucking in the emotions. I'm not saying anything in case my voice quivers. Maybe even one or a second tear escapes and rolls down my cheek. My girlfriend notices and goes, oh God, can I get you some water? And disappears downstairs for about 20 minutes, leaving me all alone, feeling stupid. She comes back up with water. I've mopped up. We say nothing again, and I've never cried in front of her again. That's one guy, right? Number two. This is one that's relatable to me. I've cried in front of maybe 3 significant others, so like 3 girlfriends. In each case, they were very understanding and empathetic about it, and their sexual attraction towards me started a gradual but an inexorable slide to 0. I've learned my lesson, and that's the case of which I am guaranteeing will happen. The thing is, you can sometimes like cry in front of you. It can happen, okay? But this advice that's telling men to actively pursue this is dangerous, even though it seems like it's coming from a good place. This advice that's telling men not to be stoic anymore, because they're saying that stoicism is causing mental health problems and men are killing themselves because they're stoic. It's the opposite way around. Men are killing themselves because they're opening up, and then their girlfriends are leaving them. Their girlfriends aren't sexually attracted to them. They're not as masculine. Their girlfriends aren't being feminine. The girlfriends aren't like sucking their dick anymore because she can't respect a guy who's just like bawled his eyes out. And then the guy kills himself after that, and then people say it's like, oh, it's toxic masculinity, it's stoicism. Bro, stoicism did not kill any man. Stoicism did not result in any man's death. The opposite did. Being emotional, being reactive did. These people in the modern times will try to convince you that something like stoicism, being in control of your emotions, is a bad thing, and that you should just be emotional so that eventually your girl doesn't actually want to have sex with you anymore. Being a masculine man so that you can attract a feminine woman means that you have to embody the principles of masculinity, which are discipline and stoicism and leadership and guidance and providing. When you have those things and you become a truly masculine man who's so focused on his work, and you attract a feminine woman, she is not a bad person if she would then lose attraction to you if you cry. People here are saying like, oh, you should break up with her. No, bro, a feminine woman, it is normal and it is natural for her to lose attraction into the masculine man that she thought was, you know, the stoic rock, and then who suddenly crumbles. Because if she's true, this is so weird, right? But if she's truly a feminine woman, she has to leave you. She has to lose sexual attraction into you if you show weakness. If she is feminine, she will lose attraction to you if you show feminine weak qualities. If you show weakness, it's just how it is, and like that isn't a bad thing. With the power of stoicism and emotional control, you'll be able to make the right decisions without just getting swayed to how you feel. You know, there's a reason why I end every single video by saying the phrase, do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it. Because that is an act of discipline. It's an act of stoicism. The modern world will try and convince you that stoicism is toxic masculinity and that you should never like practice stoicism. But I promise you right now that all of those alpha male personality types that you see who are getting getting really successful and who seem really good with women and they make a lot of money, they're all stoic. They've all learned to manage their emotions. And it might happen. Andrew Tate might break down and cry one day. It happens. Bro, I still cry sometimes. But it's having the understanding that we shouldn't encourage this, especially not to open up in front of someone who doesn't want you to. Now, the women watching this might leave some angry comments. You can go and look for their comments right now and they'll say that I'm totally wrong. The thing is, no offense to them, they're not feminine. A feminine woman doesn't actually want you to open up. She might say that she kind of does, but she wants you to stay as a mysterious rock. Stay stoic, stay in control of your emotions. And if you do need to break down at some point, if you do need to open up, do that with a brother. Do that with a male best friend. The word I said there is very important. Male. Open up to a male best friend who's masculine, who understands you. Rich people have conditioned their minds to overcome weak thoughts and weak emotions.